Is Pakistan secretly fueling a war against Christians in Nigeria? Just last week, Nigerian authorities made a shocking discovery. 4 Pakistani nationals were arrested in northeast Nigeria, accused of training and arming terrorist groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP, organizations notorious for their brutal attacks on innocent civilians, particularly Christians. These arrests have sent shockwaves through the international community, forcing us to ask, is this an isolated incident? Or is there a darker, more sinister plot at play? Let's lay out the facts. According to the Nigerian military, these 4 Pakistani nationals were not mere visitors. They were mercenaries. They were allegedly hired to train Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters in advanced tactics, including the use of drones for surveillance and attacks, as well as the fabrication of sophisticated improvised explosive devices, or IEDs. They were also implicated in arms trafficking, supplying these terrorist groups with the tools to escalate their deadly campaigns. Major General Abubakar, the theater commander of Operation Hadan Kai, described the situation as nothing short of alarming. He stated that the involvement of foreign mercenaries has significantly intensified the threat posed by these terrorist groups, making them more lethal, more coordinated, and more dangerous than ever before. Why does this matter? Because the victims of this conflict are not just statistics. They are real people. Christians in Nigeria have been systematically targeted by Boko Haram and ISWAP for over a decade. Churches have been burned to the ground, priests have been executed, entire villages have been massacred. Since Boko Haram's insurgency began in 2009, over 35,000 people have been killed, and more than 2 million have been displaced, many of them Christians. The violence has torn apart communities, leaving families shattered and futures uncertain. And now, with the arrest of these Pakistani nationals, we must ask, are foreign powers complicit in this bloodshed? Is their involvement amplifying a war against Nigeria's Christian population? Let's dig deeper. Pakistan has long faced accusations of harboring or supporting terrorist groups, particularly those operating in neighboring countries like India and Afghanistan. Reports from sources like the U.S. Department of State highlight Pakistan's complex relationship with counterterrorism, with ongoing operations against some militant groups, but criticism for selective enforcement. But Africa? This is a new and alarming frontier. The presence of Pakistani nationals in Nigeria, thousands of miles from their homeland, raises serious questions. Were these individuals acting alone, driven by personal motives or financial gain? Or are they part of a larger network, possibly with ties to state or non-state actors in Pakistan? The Nigerian military's findings suggest these mercenaries were facilitating cross-border support for terrorism, a trend that Major General Abubakar warned requires an immediate coordinated international response. This incident doesn't just threaten Nigeria, it threatens the stability of the entire region and beyond. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation and one of its largest economies. If terrorist groups like Boko Haram and ISWAP continue to gain strength fueled by foreign expertise and weapons, the consequences could be catastrophic, not just for Nigeria but for the entire Sahel region. The religious dimension adds another layer of urgency. Boko Haram's ideology is rooted in a radical interpretation of Islam that seeks to eradicate Christianity from Nigeria. With foreign support, their ability to target Christian communities has only grown, raising fears of an escalating religious conflict. So where does Pakistan stand in all of this? As of now, the Pakistani government has not issued an official statement on the arrest of its nationals. This silence is deafening. Pakistan's history of being accused of supporting groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and the Haqqani network, as noted in historical analyses, fuels suspicion. Could this incident in Nigeria be another chapter in that troubling legacy? Or are these individuals rogue actors, operating without the knowledge or support of their government? The truth is, we don't have definitive answers, yet. But what we do know is that the international community cannot afford to ignore this development. If Pakistan, or any other nation, is involved, directly or indirectly, it must face consequences. Terrorism knows no borders, and neither should accountability. This is not just Nigeria's fight, it's a global one. Major General Abubakar has called for enhanced intelligence, surveillance, and collaboration with neighboring countries to dismantle these cross-border terrorist networks. So we ask, is Pakistan fueling a war against Christians in Nigeria? Are these arrests the tip of the iceberg, revealing a global network of terror that threatens us all? And most importantly, what are we going to do about it? The clock is ticking. The lives of millions hang in the balance. It's time for the world to decide. Will we stand by and watch, or will we unite to confront the forces of terror head on?